Shedeur Sanders' family reaches boiling point as mom Pilar and brother Dion Jr. slam anonymous attacks. People don't know how to leave the Sanders family alone. Even days after the 2025 NFL Draft, the pre-draft interview haunts Shedeur Sanders like a fresh wound. One day before the draft, the internet blew up when NFL Network's Tom Pelissero reported that an anonymous NFL coach slammed the QB's interview, calling it the worst formal interview ever. In the words of that certain coach, Shedeur is so entitled. He takes unnecessary sacks. He never plays on time. He has horrible body language. He blames teammates. But the biggest thing is, he's not that good. And it's not just a single negative feedback. Another AFC exec declared, "It didn't go great in our interview." He wants to dictate what he's going to do and what's best for him. He makes you feel small. And it could be those narratives that snubbed him from the early rounds. But the drama drags on. More intel on Shedeur Sanders' interview is coming up. There's one particular X-post that rubbed Deion Sanders Jr. the wrong way. And why shouldn't it? It's a post by ML Football which reported that a top 7 NFL draft team requested Shedeur Sanders study its playbook for an interview session, but he arrived unprepared. Instead, Sanders used the time to question the team's leadership, asking their strategy for supporting him. The team did not draft him. Bucky reposted the report on May 1st and added, "Is there proof of anything? I've seen no proof of anything that has been said. Not one person has openly came out and said anything. And for some reason stories keep running from anonymous people. Everyone's getting curious about who these anonymous people are. You see, after the draft, Boomer Esiason reported that Shedeur Sanders' entitled attitude caused at least 3 teams to check him off their lists. Pilar Sanders didn't remain silent either. She doubled down on the post-draft whispers going around, sharing a post by Down and Distance on her IG story, which had the statement, "Forget the Epstein files. Give me the Shedeur Sanders interview tapes right now." Pilar added her own flair to the statement, writing, "Yeah, 'cause we know the truth." Even after some of the worst games of getting sacked a million times, Shedeur has never given a bad interview. You think it would change a one-on-one without mics and cameras around? Please. Try again. They are a big disappointment. You could almost hear the exasperation in the letters she typed. And you can't even blame her. Imagine a projected top 10 draft pick falling all the way to the 5th round when the Cleveland Browns picked him at number 144 just because of some baseless interview rumors. Of course, a lot of people side with Shedeur on this one. Shedeur Sanders receives support amidst anonymous hate. Tampering with the career of a young athlete and remaining anonymous? That's shady on their part instead. Per a high-level NFL exec's words to NFL insider Jordan Schultz, the anonymous negative quotes that pop up every year? Total garbage. If you've got something to say, put your name on it or keep it in-house. Another NFL Network insider, Kyle Brandt, slammed the hate directly, saying, "I see entitlement in a grown professional who is going around anonymously destroying young athletes." That quote is bullcrap. There's also one NFL star who's siding with Shedeur Sanders. Kansas City Chiefs Travis Kelce wants those anonymous NFL haters to hold themselves accountable. In his New Heights podcast, he let loose the F-bomb. "I think whoever the anonymous person that is saying this should come out and say who they were. What the is that about? Whether or not they will is a mystery. But one thing's for sure. Shedeur Sanders now has a platform and a supportive team behind him. When the young QB talked to the Browns GM, Andrew Berry, after they picked him, his last words were a motivation for the talented passer, which is to prove everyone who passed on you wrong. You know what they say, revenge is sweet. And the way things turned out, you can be sure that Shedeur Sanders is ready to work harder than ever to tape the mouths of his critics. Shedeur Sanders shows true colors at Browns as QB announces new move amid accusations. Cleveland didn't just draft a quarterback. They inherited a headline. Shedeur Sanders to the Browns 144 overall. What went wrong? The Dog Pound would have to deal with more versions of that headline throughout the next season. But Shedeur, the 5th-round firecracker from Colorado, isn't waiting for the NFL world to come to him. He's already on the move, in more ways than one. Now, before we get to the change in the storm, let's rewind and take you back to the thick of the storm. If I was the Giants, I would draft Shedeur Sanders. That aged well. Alas, Stephen A. wasn't him. And all of Shedeur's swag for days, 2-time program elevator, first at Jackson State, then Colorado, came crashing on draft weekend. Day 1, Day 2, finally, Day 3, and even then it seems like a pity pick. Guess somewhere between skipping the combine and swirling reports of arrogance, it didn't sit quite well with the NFL teams. Especially when you see guys like Dylan Gabriel, Jalen Milroe, and Tyler Shaw, all of them getting drafted above Shedeur. All of this seemed a bit aimed straight at Deion's son, and yet, you wouldn't know it from watching Shedeur's reaction. No slouching, no sulking, just pool-jumping joy in a dance-off with his brother Shiloh. The Browns finally called, and the Sanders family turned a draft slide into a celebration. Now fast forward a few days and the kid's already in Cleveland. Not vacationing, but visiting schools, engaging with the community, and showing those so-called character concerns the door. A NX post spelled it out. Since Shedeur Sanders slid in the draft, he arrived in Cleveland early to put in work, went out in the community to learn about our city, gave his time to local kids to help inspire and make a difference. These are the actions of a franchise quarterback. Then came the rookie card drop, a clean Panini instant release that hit social media like a statement. It wasn't just ink on cardboard. It was Shedeur's way of reclaiming the spotlight on his terms. Not through his father's voice, not through pre-draft whispers. Just Shedeur, ball in hand, Browns gear on, smirking like someone who knows exactly where this is going. A little late? Sure. But never buried. So what's next? Well, that's on Shedeur. This draft chapter, messy as it was, might end up being his best teacher. He's got Joe Flacco in the room. Kenny Pickett ahead. A city ready to believe in something new. Well, that is, until he does everything by the book, because Shedeur Sanders already has negative PR all around him. College stats can get you headlines, but bad PR? That gets you benched, or worse, dropped to day 3. Shedeur Sanders had the kind of season at Colorado that should have made him a lock as a top-tier nut prospect. Over 4,100 passing yards, a 74% completion rate, and 37 touchdowns. The guy was efficient, lethal in rhythm, named Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. On paper, his horns were sounding off, but you know how the NFL works. It's not just about what you do. It's about how you do it, and more importantly, how you're perceived doing it. So why'd he slide all the way to the 5th round? Well, former NFL lineman Ross Tucker peeled back a layer on the Dan Patrick Show, and what he revealed wasn't flattering. According to Tucker, when he called the Colorado State game for CBS, Shedeur straight up ghosted the production meeting. Twice. No heads up. No explanation. Just gone. I walk out of the hotel, and there's a pickup truck in front of the hotel, and Shedeur is just sitting in the back of the pickup truck, Tucker recalled. NFL people asked me after that game, "What did you think of Shedeur?" And I said, "I didn't get to talk to him." Not exactly a glowing reference. Tucker didn't accuse him of being a bad guy. He was careful with his words. But that's the point. NFL teams aren't just drafting arms and legs. They're investing in faces of the franchise. Especially at that position, Tucker said. I think it makes them very nervous that already in college he was getting out of things that you're supposed to be doing. Skipping a production meeting once? Not a career ender. But when you stack it next to shaky combine interviews and whispers about skipping out on other team meetings, that's how you fall behind QBs like Dylan Gabriel. That's how you drop to the Browns' second quarterback pick of the draft. And now, it's not just about how Shedeur plays. It's about whether Kevin Stefanski believes he can be counted on when it's not highlight real time.